What's up, everyone? Welcome to Clear Talk. So in today's video, in lieu of this past week being Valentine's, I wanted to do a video on love. So and my thoughts about it. So what we're going to do first, we're going to start with just like, the basic definition, right? Basic definition of love is just strong affection for someone who, can be either or something, right? So this could be, your basics, like your family, right? Mom, father, siblings, whatever, grandparents, uncles, extended, cousins, all that kind of stuff, all kinfolk. Kinfolk sounds so country southern. And then of course that expands out to, then you have, friends and stuff like that you can have affection for, right? And then you have, of course, significant others, stuff like that. Your lover, your spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, or somebody you just have a strong attraction to. You can grow love for, or then even things, or like pets or something like that, right? So that's the basics, right? Just the basics of love. And I think that's it for me. Love is like the just foundation for life, in my opinion. Like and really, for me personally, in my opinion, it's what we should strive for, as a base in going through our life, is just to love, to show love, because I think if we do that, then we, relationships, bonding, the energy that we give into the world and through people that we connect with will be much stronger. I think it's the strongest feeling and emotion that we can project to people. And so and the only thing that can come even close and equivalent to that is just, anger, right? I think, in my opinion. So those are the tipping points there, balancing back and forth. And you, in my opinion, you always want to anger or hate, right? Kind of the same side of the coin there. So if I think if you strive to have more love than hate, then things in life would just be more, it'd just be better, right? And I think as a society, at large, if we just are able to show love to people, in all different aspects, more love anyways than hate, right? I mean, hate just seems to be so, it obviously is easy, because it seems to be so easy for so many people. And love, I think, it can be just as easy if you allow it to be. But for some reason, a lot of times it feels like it's just one of those things that's, for some people, only held to a certain, to a certain degree or a certain section of their life or whatever. I don't know. They find it so hard to love others, like, outside of your bubble or outside of, the vacuum that you've gotten yourself, accustomed to or whatever. Because I think the selfishness comes into thing there, being selfish and only concerned with, you and what you have around you, your environment, whatever, family, friends, stuff like that, your little bubble, instead of, understanding or allowing those, that thought, to be extended out from, I'm gonna get this out at some point, to others, right, outside your bubble, So for me, that's what we, would make things better if we understand that there are differences in people and accept those differences in people and love them for those differences. Then and not be so offstandish from, those differences. Just being accepting, that in itself can be a form of love, towards people, right? So that's where I feel, just in general as a society, I think we should try to strive for love, and showing love to people, showing acceptance to people, and not, not so much hate. It just seems like our society has cultivated, especially in the social, social strains, social media, social, bubbles, that it's just like, it seems people have gotten so easy to hate. And I just don't understand it. It seems ridiculous, especially your extremes, right? And your extremes on both sides, honestly. I mean, if we're being real here, the extremes on a political standpoint, or whatever, if, extremes to the right, extremes to the left, there's oftentimes, a very strong hate. And sometimes I feel like they don't even really understand what they are projecting that hate on, or what they think that they're projecting it on, is just either wrong, misunderstood, or based in lies, or just, stuff like that. And I think it's just, and just directed in the wrong direction oftentimes. And oftentimes also the hate is actually reversed and damaging towards themselves in the long run more than they realize. Projecting that hate in that direction really is eventually, or even has potential to backlash on them in ways that they don't even realize. So that's where I think that we, can really need to try to gain a better understanding and consciousness, and I hate to say like intellectual, but like just a more, a better understanding of society at large, a better understanding of the quote others, right? People that we may not agree with, we may not think are even acceptable in our own life views, or whatever. Like, just understanding that people have different views, people have different beliefs, and it's perfectly fine, if you want, and this is balancing into religion now. I'm kind of like, and politics, because these oftentimes collide, right? And they intertwine with each other, as much as we don't want that, or I personally don't think it should happen, but it does, unfortunately. So even though you can have your beliefs and believe in whatever you want to, and take those beliefs and conduct them, place them into your political, ideology or whatever all you want. And that's perfectly fine to have that and to mold your life around that if you want to. But to then turn around and try to project or force those thoughts and opinions on other people because you don't like the way other people, what and the things that they're doing, just, that's just, in my opinion, wrong. And is just, pushing that hate on those people. And what groups of people, whatever group of people or, stuff that is. So if you just accept, realize that those people more than likely actually accept you, why are you not accepting them? I mean, in most cases, and just realizing that just let people be, oftentimes, the same people that want to scream freedom, and they want to have their freedom of religion and freedom of their ideology, and then, but yet they want to turn around and hate and force other people to, conform to a particular lifestyle or whatever. And that to me is just wrong. If you want to talk about freedom, and everything, you should completely be free and understand and allow people to be free, right? And when you do that, the balance of hate, you won't have that push to hate so much on this group or whatever, and you can actually allow yourself to more understand and potentially even show some type of, love, or at least some kind of in the realm of affection towards those group of people. Even if it's just the acceptance part, in my opinion, even that can show, some type of at least balanced affection, and that way people truly do have that freedom and can live their lives the way they want to. So that for me is, a big thing in a societal aspect. For me, love in relationships, I feel that you should be able to love anyone you want. I don't think people should be pushed or forced to love a certain way, love a certain person, or love a certain type of person. You shouldn't be forced to love someone or forced to be with someone that you don't love. So you should be, it's about, I'm a type of person that really just thinks that freedom ultimately should push all these kinds of conversations, whether it's, love conversation, political, religious, whatever, these, even the social, aspect, is just freedom, speech, whatever, the freedoms to do the things you want to do, but also understand, the circumstances or, things that come along with that, and in the respect for others, for all those things as well. You want respect for yourself, give the respect to others as well. And so, I think you should be able to love anyone you want, and understand that love is not, for me personally, I don't really believe in the whole, or at least for me personally, the whole like soulmate kind of thing. I don't really feel that that is some sort of like thing that really exists. I mean, or not really exists, but it's just not for me. I don't feel that it's something that directs me. There are so many, when you think about the fact that there are so many people in the world, and the likelihood that there is just one particular person, one special person, out of billions of people that you were supposed to somehow magically find, fated to find. I just find that the odds of that is very unlikely. And I don't think it's, something that's meant for like, once you find somebody or you fall in love with somebody, once you, and I feel like I'm going to have, and I'm going to expand on this in a video for marriage, and stuff like that. But that once, even when you marry someone, it shouldn't be like, this is till the end, understand that love comes and goes. Understand that sometimes, in my opinion, people are there in your life, sometimes just temporarily. This way I have grown to feel. Sometimes people that come into our lives that we fall in love with or show love to, sometimes that is just something that's temporary, something that is either meant to teach us something or grow us in some kind of way, or just, give us an understanding of something, or a better understanding of love in general and in itself. So, sometimes it's really temporary, right? It could be just, something that just happens in a very short time. Sometimes it can be more extended. Sometimes it can actually be some long-term thing, and that's perfectly fine. But to try to force something that really shouldn't be forced, in my opinion, doesn't do anybody, either party or whatever parties involved, any good. So yes, I think love is something that, you should not take for granted, but also understand that it should be genuine, right? And recognize maybe, when and if that, it comes that it's just not there anymore or whatever. But and that is something that I have experienced, a few times. So and I think you can grow with each one of those, and each time it helps you to the next time you fall in love, be able to for one, understand where you stand in it, and also help you to maybe connect or, show or get better or whatever, improve yourself and how you actually engage in that relationship, and your feelings towards that relationship, and hopefully each time will be, better and better and better, or whatever. So anyway, that's kind of where I feel when it comes to the subject of love with relationships. Don't be afraid to love somebody. Don't be, don't be afraid to open up. You do get hurt. It is something serious, but at the same time, don't try to hold arbitrary, ideas to people, uh, and it shouldn't be hard. It shouldn't be something that is just like something you constantly have to work at. People say, if you really truly, there's so many people that say if you truly, love somebody, or the long relationships, you gotta work on them. It's something you constantly, sometimes it's hard, but you got to get through it and blah blah blah. But in my opinion, it shouldn't be that hard. Love should be easy. Love should be something that's, you don't have to, in my opinion, you shouldn't have to constantly work on it. It shouldn't be something that's, you have to sacrifice everything that is you as an individual in order to, hold on to or whatever. It should just be easy, and you should, and of course, trust comes into that. And the easier it is for you to trust, in the fewer issues that you will have, and you shouldn't it shouldn't be so hard that you're constantly, and the foundation of that is trust, right? You should be able to trust. If you can't trust, then you can't love, and you can't love if you can't love yourself either. Like, you can't love someone else if you truly don't really love yourself. So, find that's in you, work on you. If you are constantly finding yourself in relationships where you can't seem to get along, or it seems so hard, identify whether or not it's actually the other person or if it's you, and when you find, how to love yourself, it either will make it easier to love the other person, or it'll make you realize that maybe that love is just not where you are going or where you need to be. And hopefully you can find, what you're looking for and what you need in somebody else. So, but and that will be better. So, like I said, it should be easy. If it's hard for you, then there's something wrong, honestly. I've currently been in a relationship for 6 years now, and we hardly ever fight. Yeah, we've had, little disagreements here or there, but we don't like get in any kind of major fights. We don't get overly like angry or anything with each other and like that. Yeah, you might have some, like I said, disagreements, and things get a little frustrating maybe at times, but it should be easy. And in the 6 years that I've had with my girlfriend have been wonderful. They've been, we haven't had any problems. We don't fight. We don't make things hard. We don't hold each other to these crazy arbitrary rules or anything like that. We allow each other to be each other, and allow each other to have our space, have our life, have our individuality, and don't try to force our opinions or ideas about life or whatever on each other. So and that, in my opinion, is the way a relationship and loving somebody should be, or at least it's easier if it's that way. So take that as you will, I guess. Hopefully hopefully you will find something like that too. And and hopefully we that will continue for us, and I don't see right now it not, but hopefully it will. So because I mean, when it's easy, right? So, yeah, that's all my thoughts on love on a general societal in relationships. Just my whole, as I've stated previously, I don't, I'm not religious, but if I had to pick a religion or just pick something that, in my opinion, bases my ideology spiritually and how I view life, it is just love, just simple as that. My religion, it is love. If we love each other and show affection to each other, even on a complete grand scheme, in society, all the way up the chain, family member to family member, friend to friend, work, mate or whatever, classmate, whatever, even, religiously from one religion to another, to politically from one political ideology to another. We just love each other, and show an understanding for each other, then I think everything will be better. Even in the grand global scheme, foreign policies and affairs and how we communicate with each other, country to country and whatever, if we'd stop the greed, stop the, constantly trying to take advantage of each other or hold some type of power stronghold on this country or that country or this, whatever. If we just, will, as a whole global society, just learn to actually just accept each other, work together, love each other, this world will be a whole lot better place. So, and I know that sounds, and a lot of people say, oh, you're just, that just sounds utopian or something. And, as if that's some kind of bad thing. Like, why is that a bad thing? Why is that something that's bad, looked upon as, bad or just, crazy, never going to happen kind of thing? With that, in my opinion, with that thought process and that energy, you're projecting that, into the conversation, then you're already dooming for that to happen in the first place, or, potential for that to one day, become our societal norm. I mean, so the more, so I don't have no problem talking about it and saying it in that way. I hope and strive that eventually, we will come to that, and it may take several generations before that happens. I think every generation, in my opinion, gets a little bit better about it, gets a little bit more of understanding and shows more affection and more love and consideration towards everybody and other people. And I think that the more that happens, the better things get on, the whole global zeitgeist, norm, so anyway, thank you for joining me in this video, and my thoughts on that. So yes, just in my opinion, love people, try to do more love than hate. Simple as that. Sum it all up. Almost 30-minute video. So thank you. If you love this, if you like this video, please like and comment, share. And if you want more content, you like this content, and want more of it, then consider subscribing. And again, thank you for coming, and until next time, this has been Clear Talk. Later.